I want to be very clear. Our borders are not open.
We are operating within the constraints of a broken immigration system.
It is my testimony that the border is secure.
We are operating within the constraints of a broken immigration system.
The challenge that we are encountering at our southern border is by no means unique to the southern border of the United States.
We are operating within the constraints of a broken immigration system.
Let us not sugarcoat this. Already you have a record number of crossings exceeding your own internal estimates. You have severely overcrowded detention facilities already. The president himself acknowledged this week it's going to be chaotic for a while. That's his word, not mine. My question to you is why? You have had 2 years to prepare for this. Why do we have this chaos and confusion at the border?
Savannah, the answer is very, very clear. We are operating within the constraints of a broken immigration system.
You say the border is not open, but there is a subset of people who are being released into this country with no court date and no way to track them. I mean, that sounds like the border is open for some.
Savannah, the vast majority are being removed.
The administration has enacted a new policy. It's a tough one. It would require migrants to have first attempted asylum in another country before they come to the U.S. This was a policy that the president harshly criticized when he was running against President Trump. I'm going to play some sound here.
This is the first president in the history of the United States of America that anybody seeking asylum has to do it in another country. That's never happened before in America. That's never happened before in America. You come to the United States and you make your case.
Then candidate Biden outraged at President Trump for executing a policy he is now enacting. What changed? Did he fail to understand the difficulties here?
Savannah, actually, that's not true. This is not the Trump administration policy by any means.
I have to ask you a question. Does the president bear some responsibility for the surge we're seeing right now? I want to play you a piece of something he said during the campaign again back in 2019. Take a listen.
All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
Mr. Secretary, they came. They're sitting outside along our border right now. It is cold at night. It is sizzling hot during the day. There is dust. There are children. They came. Did that messaging encourage people to make this crossing?
What encourages people to make the crossing is the false information, the lies that the smuggling organizations communicate. That's what makes these people take the dangerous journey. They're deceived into doing so. Let me share with you, though, what is the fundamental point here. The fundamental point is that we need Congress to act. The president on day one presented Congress with legislative reform.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
Do not come. Do not come.
Okay. Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
Yes, the wall is racist, except for when Joe Biden wants to get his photo taken in front of it to show that the border is, well, secure.
A lot of you have been talking tonight about these government health care plans that you've proposed in one form or another. This is a show of hands question, and hold them up for a moment so people can see. Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay, let me start with you, Mayor Buttigieg. Why? speaking of democracy and politics, the president put a lot of blame yesterday on Republicans for failure to get some of these key initiatives passed. But, you know, you have a 50-50 tie in the United States Senate, as you are well aware. Did the administration fail to temper its initiatives to meet political reality? In other words, should you have been more willing to compromise to try to get all Democrats on board? These initiatives failed because Democrats weren't united, let alone Republicans. Was that an error as you look back on this year?
Well, when I look back on this year, I think about things like the bipartisan infrastructure law. Administrations, both Democrat and Republican, have tried for years.
Well, doesn't that show Republicans were willing to help if the initiatives were good?
I'm speaking.
Housekeeping. What are you seeing at the border right now?
We're seeing precisely the challenge that we expected.
Could this have been avoided?
You know, George, this is something that we were ready for. We cannot control the movement of people before they reach our border. We have made it very, very clear, and we continue to communicate to migrants that this is not the way to seek relief in the United States. They are going to meet tough consequences if they arrive at our border irregularly. The practice of releasing individuals when our Border Patrol facilities, when our Border Patrol stations are overcrowded, is something that each administration has done, from administration to administration.
You see Texas Governor Greg Abbott is starting to send more buses of migrants all across the country right now. He says he's doing it because the administration is not doing its job.
George, it is a very sad and tragic day when a government official uses human beings as pawns to score political points. Objection.
Come on.
Objection.
I don't believe you.
Objection.
There better not be another incident. I'll take the motion under advisement.
But we have a plan. We've been executing on our plan. It will take time, but we have confidence that our plan will work. It has worked in the past.
Flashback.
Our problems at the border didn't arise overnight and not going to be solved overnight. It's a difficult problem. It's clear that immigration is a political issue that extreme Republicans are always going to run on. But now they have a choice. They can keep using immigration to try to score political points, or they can help solve the problem. They can help solve the problem, come together to fix the broken system. When it comes to immigration, it seems like it's a better issue for them than trying to solve it. Look, we need more resources to secure the border. Yet again, extreme Republicans have said no. Many Republicans agree we should do something. But it's time to stop listening to their inflammatory talk. It's time to look at the record. As I've always done when I'll sit down with anyone who in good faith wants to fix our broken immigration system. And it's hard. It's hard on the best of circumstances. But if the most extreme Republicans continue to demagogue this issue and reject solutions, I'm left with only one choice. To act on my own, do as much as I can on my own to try to change the atmosphere. It's so easy to demagogue this issue. It's so easy to demagogue it. And you hear, a number of our friends, the MAGA Republicans, talking about, they don't even want me speaking English anymore. They want me speaking da-da-da. They're going to take over my community, whoever they are at the time. Because Republicans haven't been serious about this at all. Come on. They haven't been serious about this at all. My prediction is, it's nothing particularly insightful about this, Title 42 is going to go away before the end of the year in terms of the Supreme Court, my prediction. And then we're going to have to use Title 8. 8, right? Am I right? Yeah, Title 8. 8, 9. And which we can implement what we're doing here, plus some other things. 20,000 pounds of deadly fentanyl. That's enough to kill as many as 1,000 people in this country. 20,000 pounds of fentanyl. It's a killer. It's a flat killer. 20,000 pounds of deadly fentanyl. That's enough to kill as many as 1,000 people in this country.
What? No.
We can secure our border.
It is my testimony that the border is secure.